Hello folks, this is Michael Santos with another important update for Kevin's fundraiser. It has been 5 months since my last update, and I want to take the time today to update y'all with the latest on this fundraiser. This fundraiser is still active, and to date, a total of $11,385 has been donated by all of you who have given so far. However, we welcome you to become a new donor also. The total amount that needs to be raised, however, is $26,000. And that means that Kevin still needs $14,615 to reach that goal. I started this fundraiser for Kevin on June 17th of last year. That's almost a year now, and I'm very grateful for all of your donations. And Kevin wants me to convey a very heartfelt thanks for all of your donations. Kevin says that PHH Mortgage is doing what they can under the current laws to give him what he has asked for. Kevin even reminds them of their motto when he writes to them for help, which is, helping homeowners is what we do. And so far, things have worked out in Kevin's favor. At least the home retention team of PHH Mortgage are cooperating with him. Kevin has even sent several copies of the Master's Key to Unlocking and Mastering Chronic Disease to them to remind them of all that he's doing. Kevin just recently asked them for a 12-month forbearance and another letter to them with the new signed loan modification paperwork. And he says that they sent him an appraisal of his home afterwards. He feels that they sent the appraisal because he asked for the forbearance, which he says is the good thing. The loan modification is the best they have been able to offer him right now, until he hears if they are going to agree to a 12-month forbearance, which he is asking for to resume the online book tour, which is what he did ask for them recently in his last letter to them. Folks, $3,180.66 is due by the end of May, and Kevin still needs to come up with the money to pay that. So I ask you, can you donate again? Kevin also welcomes any new donors too. This is very urgent and is just a few short days away from now. I want to let you know that Kevin has been very busy these past 5 months since my last video update. He is a man on a mission to save his home and to make the Master's Key a viral success. This world needs the Master's Key more than you can know. I've read this book, and I know that what Kevin has to say in the Master's Key is the truth. We all need this life-saving knowledge. For those of you who know Kevin's testimony to date, he has been dead twice in his life, and when he died again at age 44 and traveled to heaven, he met and talked with Jesus again. Jesus wanted Kevin to finish his book, which had not been named yet. God said that he would take care of the marketing of it if he wrote it. I ask for your help and for your prayers too. Remind God to keep his word and to take care of the marketing of the Master's Key for Kevin. Kevin did not have to come back from heaven and into his dead body and suffer to do the work for all of you. And it has cost him everything he has to date to obey our Lord. I know that, and I'm trying to help Kevin get the things he needs because I can see how close he is to reaching the goal he is shooting for with this work. And I've also read the book, like I've already said. Kevin has been very busy these past 5 months preparing to resume his online book tour. Kevin just sent a 3-page letter to George Noory asking for a third interview on Coast to Coast AM. If you remember, Kevin was last on Coast to Coast AM on April the 5th of 2020. Kevin wants the topic of the interview that he wants to have with George to be titled, Our Disconnected Global Healthcare System. Kevin even made a 14-page outline for Noory and for other interviewers, which has taken these last 5 months to work through. You see, folks, this took a lot of thought on Kevin's part. He had to step back and think of how he needed to word things and to also refresh his memory. He did this to make sure that what he is going to talk about is accurate to the T. In other words, he needs to have all of his ducks in a row. Kevin also had to take time for himself to decompress a little bit because of all that he has been through the past 30 years has been tough on him both physically and mentally. Kevin also sent copies of that same letter to Tom Danheiser and Lisa Lyons, both whom are producers for Coast to Coast EM. Kevin's hope is that after making a third appearance on Coast to Coast EM, that he will get other invites to other podcasts or radio talk shows like the last time when he appeared on Coast to Coast AM back on November 19th, 2019, and again April 5th of 2020. And he wants to reach the medical community. He knows too that reaching this disconnected medical community will be an uphill challenge, but he has to reach them in order to effect change in this current healthcare system that we have nowadays. So as you can see, Kevin has it all planned out very strategically, and he needs our help with donations. Can you help him? Remember, he needs $3,180.66 by the end of this month. I want to now talk about what Kevin was able to get with the donations that came in so far. First, you helped him get the loan modification back in November of last year. Second, after his loan modification was met, he had some extra money left and was able to get a good deal from Best Buy to purchase a new 55-inch TV. This new TV is a blessing to him, and he thanks you all so very much. If you remember, I told you his old TV, which he has had for the last 17 years, would show a snowy picture for about 15 minutes after he turned it on. Then it would show a very fuzzy image once it finally warmed up enough. Now that he has this new TV, Kevin has a great research tool as well as a means to stay connected with the world. This new TV has Alexa from Amazon, and Kevin can ask her questions while he is in bed. This helps him with his research. He had the guys from Best Buy mounted on his bedroom wall. So when his back begins to cause him excruciating pain while sitting at his computer, he can lie down on his bed and do research. The back pain is a result of trauma he experienced with the chronic disease process active in his body, resulting in a herniated disc at L5 in his lumbar area, creating massive amounts of indurated or hardened tissues with an onset date in the year 2007. The indurated tissue formed on both sides of the herniated disc, all inoperable since 2007, when this happened to his back. So he lives on several Western medical pain medications and hellish pain and stiffness, which he wakes up to each morning these days. He states that the ozone injections give the most pain relief when he does them, and not so much the painkillers, forcing him to be faithful to the injections. He cleared these indurated tissues up in 2007 when they first formed, but they reformed when an experimental use of DL-alpha tocopheroacetate oil he used, which is a form of vitamin E oil, failed to work when he failed to do the hygiene part right some 3 years ago. What he was doing was experimental medicine with his own body, but he seldom makes mistakes, he told me. The first 5 injection treatments worked like magic, he said, to give him instant pain relief, faster than lidocaine injection had done for him in the past. The only part where he made an error was when he failed to clean the outside of the surface tissue one night, before doing the 6th set of injections to all infected areas. It took him 5 to 7 years to clear that indurated tissue the first time they formed, when the herniated disc formed. He resumed the ozone injection approaches again 3 years ago, which are once again breaking down the newly formed benign hardened tumors tissues these past 3 years. Again, proving these treatment courses he is using are repeatable and effective. Kevin has been following the work of Dr. Charles Farr, MD, and his research into ozone therapies these past 25 years, having bought his own equipment some 23 years ago. So he can administer the treatments himself. Such treatments are not offered here in the United States unless you travel abroad, which is a lot of money. Kevin does not have to pay such costs. So he has invested into his own equipment, which he is using to the present day. Just know that his work does not focus on ozone therapies as his main treatment discourse. Ozone is just one of many things that can be used when it comes to integrative medicine, if you know what to use it for. So the large TV screen is also a blessing to his aging eyesight as well. Once again, thank you for your donations. This truly is a blessing. Kevin wants to get a new dishwasher next with the donation that came in from an anonymous donor. This anonymous donor emailed him and told him to purchase a new dishwasher to take the strain off of his back. He says that Best Buy and Maytag Direct both have a good sale on right now for dishwashers, but he wants to hold off until he finds out what PHH is going to do. He says, too, that he would be $44 under budget right now to make that purchase. So Kevin wants the anonymous donor to know that he is going to honor the donation that they gave him. I now want to remind you of some of the other things around Kevin's home that need fixed or replaced. Kevin's bathroom needs a new toilet in it because of the rusty buildup on it, and he says it is not the right size for his body. Plus, it is over 30 years old. There is also a 10 to 15 foot section of plumbing under his house that is leaking that needs replaced. That section of plumbing connects to his middle bathroom, and he hasn't been able to use that bathroom for a long time because of that. And in his kitchen, Kevin still needs a new stove and a microwave oven. And he could also use a new dishwasher, or a new washer and dryer for his utility room. Lastly, Kevin's garage door is all but gone and in terrible condition. It is also hard for him to lift in the condition it is in when he needs to get into the garage for anything. The old garage door has lasted a very long time, but Kevin really needs a new garage door. He also has been driving a 30-year-old 1994 Dodge Spirit, which needs to be replaced badly so he can make his local errands comfortable and safely. Keep in mind that in order for him to write this book that you see I'm holding, it cost Kevin all he has to come through these past 30 years to do this work our Lord sent him back to do, and he really needs us to start to help him, and in a grand way. I'm telling you folks, I read this book, and the knowledge it contains is amazing to read. I will be leaving pictures of all these items so that you can see them for yourself, and you will be surprised, you will be amazed at the difference that his new TV compared to his old TV. It truly is a real blessing to Kevin. Now, before I close this video, I want to show you documented case study number 2 from the Master's Key. The subject of this case study is Catherine Saunders from Prince Edward Island, Canada. At the time of this case study, Catherine was 40 years old and disabled by what her doctors call environmental illness, and she had been disabled for 10 years. She was living on welfare, and this proved to be a challenge for Kevin, but he was still able to help her. Kevin says it usually takes about a year to get the blood clear to reach the full clearance of the living water system, but in Catherine's case, it took 4 years. That is only because of her income level. As you will see from these pictures that I'm going to show you next, it can be done. Have a look here on page 75 of the first live cell blood exam of Catherine's blood. This was done on May 18th of 2007. What you are seeing is that the blood in Catherine's body is very bad. In fact, she was in the grips of the CDS-PD process that just about killed her. CDS-PD is short for what Kevin calls chronic disease syndrome, premature decomposition. Now I want you to have a look here on page 81 of Catherine's blood, her 8th live cell blood exam which was taken back on July 22nd of 2011. Look how much better it looks when compared to the image that you just saw on page 75. Which blood would you rather have? Kevin provided Catherine with the MEC protocols and guided her all along the way, but she did the work to get her blood clean. This was all done without a blood transfusion, I might add. Western medicine said that this can't happen. But here's the proof, right here before your eyes, folks. Kevin's research proved in 3 separate case studies, which are found in the Master's Key, that it can be replicated. Her blood is just like new. Isn't that just amazing? It truly is a miracle, folks. She did the work to make her blood whole. The blood then could go to work clearing and cleaning her tissues in turn. Kevin quotes a passage from the Bible from Leviticus 17:11, which says, "The life of the flesh is in the blood." And Kevin proves this passage from the Bible true as a scholar and a scientist with these documented case studies. And with even just this one study you'll find in the Master's Key. Folks, Kevin's knowledge in the Master's Key needs to reach our disconnected global healthcare system. What we have now is a sham, in my personal opinion. The Master's Key should be required and taught in the medical schools all over the world. I hope that you can see now why I started this fundraiser for Kevin. Things are going in the right direction for Kevin, and he is looking forward to getting back to the online book tour. It has been a long road for Kevin, with obstacle after obstacle in his way, but yet he is moving forward with his plans. For those of you who gave in the past, can I ask for your help once again? We also welcome new donors, remember. Kevin needs $3,180.66, and he needs it before the 25th of May. Can I also count on your prayers? Keep Kevin in your prayers. Ask God to take care of the marketing like he promised him to. I thank you for all that you have done so far. God bless you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.